Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for stopping by to join me for another video. Today is going to be a quick mail call video where we look at some recent pickups. 4 of them, in fact, as you can tell by the stands in front of you. And it made sense to group these together because they've all arrived recently and they are all basically a parallel or a set that is very, very blue in color. So blue happens to be my favorite color. Had all 4 of these sitting here and figured we'll group them together and look at some recent pickups. So first is the lone hockey card from the batch, and I've shown these Prism 2013-14 Prism hockey releases before. This is, again, the only officially licensed Prism release that Panini created for the NHL prior to them losing their license. And obviously this is one of the greatest players of the era in which I grew up as a hockey fan, and one of the top goal scorers and point producers of all time, the great Teemu Selanne. And I just love, I've talked about this many times, but the etching and the amazing job that Panini does with these parallels and Prism cards from these releases. And happily scooped up Teemu here for $3 on Sport Lots. And that seemed like too good a deal to pass up for my shiny Prism hockey collection. And that will get thrown right into the Z Folio with some of the other Prism hockey from that set. And then we will switch over to the baseball realm. So like many of you, I'm a huge fan of the Topps Sapphire releases from the last few years. And I happened to grab a pair of them from the inaugural 2016 set from a seller on Sport Lots. And the first of the 2 is this Motor City Mashers card, obviously featuring the great Miguel Cabrera, but also the maybe underrated JD Martinez. I mean, I don't need to go into detail about these cards. I think everybody or anybody watching this is familiar with the Sapphire brand, but I mean, these are essentially atomic refractors with a blue tint to them, and they just look amazing in person. The first 2 years, 2016 and 2017, I believe Topps only released these as factory sets and produced only 250 of each set. So in particular, the first 2 years of Sapphire is a little bit difficult to track down, and it's becoming more difficult with the passage of time. And so even though this isn't strictly a Miguel Cabrera card per se, I was happy to track this one down and add it to my collection, especially given that I acquired it for the very reasonable price of $2.50. From that same seller, in a combined package deal, I grabbed another card from the 2016 Sapphire set. This is, of course, the great Max Scherzer. I think a top 5 and maybe even a top 3 21st century pitcher. Really, really like Scherzer, what he brings to the game. I think he gets a lot more love and recognition now in the hobby, as everybody seems to over this last year or so. But for a long time, I think he was a little bit underrated and underappreciated as far as prices go. And happily snatched up his first ever Sapphire card from the same seller as the Martinez and Cabrera. So that was a nice pickup for my small little Scherzer collection. And then the 4th and final card sticks with the Sapphire theme, but it is from this year's Sapphire update release that Topps put out. And it is the most dominating pitcher that I ever saw pitch with my own 2 eyes in person, the great Pedro Martinez. What's really cool about this year's update Sapphire set is, as most of you know, there was no All-Star game due to COVID in 2020, and the way Topps dealt with that as far as the All-Star cards in their update set was to feature memorable games from the past, from All-Star games past, and memorable players from those games. And I think maybe, it kind of rubbed people the wrong way at the time, or it just felt like a way to include a bunch of stars as far as the normal update set. But when it comes to Sapphire, I actually think it's really cool because it gives you your first opportunity to land some retired greats and Hall of Famers in Sapphire form. Obviously, this brand did not exist during Pedro's heyday or during Pedro's career at all, for that matter. And so there would never have been an opportunity to see him on this iconic design. And for that reason, I happily shelled out, I think it was $4 plus $1 in shipping to acquire the card you see in front of you there. And of course, that's from the All-Star game that took place at Fenway Park in 1999, which makes it even more memorable card for my Red Sox collection. So that's it. That's a wrap on this latest mail day video, but just 4 pickups there. Again, continuing to drive home the point that you don't need to be a millionaire or have a ton of disposable income to have fun in this hobby of ours. Everything that you see in front of you there, including shipping to my door, grand total was well below $20, probably even $15 or below if I really crunch the numbers. And 4 fantastic shiny blue cards that I will appreciate having in my collection. So thanks as always for stopping by. If you have any comments on Topps Sapphire as a brand, or really anything related to the hobby at all for that matter, feel free to leave a note below, and I will be back soon with some more content. Take care.